week into this, day 7. These baby chicks are starting to get some feathers. All right, let's take a peek at these guys. You can see some of them are starting to get these little feathers like this right here. This guy right here is getting a few little feathers. So yeah, they're starting to feather out. That happens fast. I bet this time next week, whenever I check in with you guys, I bet there is a significant amount of feathers on these little guys. So today we're gonna talk about feed. What we feed, how we feed, and why we feed the way that we feed. So to start off, this is what we have them on right now. If you can see that, nature's best organic feed. The way nature intended is what it reads. That's just a generic feed that we get from Rural King. Get some good feed from your local Tractor Supply, whatever kind of farm shop you've got around there. If you've got a great local mill, even better, support your local businesses. I value that a lot. So if you've got somewhere local that you can buy from, do that. This is just a very generic, organic feed that has worked for us in the past. The brand we typically buy is a brand called Combox. We get that from a local business over in Southern Indiana. We drive across the bridge, pick that up. There's a really nice lady over there that just really gives us a good deal. So that's typically what we buy. It's a 22% protein feed, 20%, 22%, 18%. People are gonna have their opinions. Don't get hung up on that. We've tried all 3 of those. We've even tried some 16% at times, and we get very similar results. The 22%, you might get a little bit quicker growth as opposed to the 16, but it's not gonna be so huge that it's a break the bank kind of thing. But that's what we feed them. Now, as far as how we feed them, I'm gonna show you guys that. So how do we feed them? We take these really cool little feeders, just like this little plastic thing. You can buy them at Rural King, Tractor Supply, whatever your farm store is. They've got a little pop top. Just like that. It pops open, super easy. You can see there's some crumbs left from yesterday. You take these really cool little scoops, you fill it up with feed, and you simply dump it inside. Rocket science. Clip it back together, and you put it back in the box. So here's the most difficult part. You take the feed, and you put it right back in the box for them. Super easy, don't overthink it. So let's talk feeding schedule. The first 3 weeks that we have these little guys, we feed them 24/7. They can have as much feed as they can possibly eat in a day's time. At about 3 weeks old, we want to start weaning them off of the 24/7 feed and switch to more of like a 10 hours on, 14 hours off, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, somewhere in there. It's not exact. Don't overthink this. If you guys take anything away from any of these chick videos, is don't overthink this. Just if you're thinking about starting this, just jump in, get your hands dirty, and just do it. Just go for it. You can do it. I'm not the smartest person in the world by any stretch of the imagination. If I can do it, you can do it. I am self-taught in all of this. But what we have seen, if you do kind of a 12 on, 12 off type schedule, once they're past that 3-week-old stage, you can avoid some possible health issues. So I've heard stories of people that have fed 24 hours a day from day 1 to the end of week 8, and they walk away with like a 10-pound chicken. That's a huge bird. But my question to them would be, how many chickens out of your, let's say, flock of 100, how many did you lose in that process? So usually, I think I told you before, about 10% is pretty acceptable. We have found that if we give them free feed the entire time, they get things like water belly, they get some heart issues, their legs can't always support the weight of their body, and so they can't walk very well. They just start developing some issues. So we have found that doing the 12 hours on, 12 hours off mitigates a lot of those potential issues. They're not guaranteed, but there are some potential issues that can come from 24/7 feed once they're beyond that 3-week-old stage. So that's what we do. I'm not saying it's right, but just That's how we do it. So let's talk grit. Some people feed grit, some people don't feed grit. From everything that I have read, my conclusion is if you are raising meat birds, the commercial meat bird feed does not require one to feed grit. They say that it is designed in a way that the chickens can fully process it without needing grit. If you don't know what grit is, it's simply like little pieces of sand, little pieces of rock, hard things that chickens put in there. They eat, they swallow them, and they put them inside their gizzards. And their gizzard kind of like, because chickens don't have teeth, so they can't like chew their food. It goes inside their gizzard, and that gizzard is just this big old muscle that kind of grinds using the rocks, pebbles and different things. It grinds that food up that goes into their gizzard. They say that meat bird feed is kind of designed to not need grit. We've fed grit, we've not fed grit. We've not noticed a difference in the amount of feed that we needed to feed. And we've not noticed a size difference in that either. It was just kind of an extra expense we didn't feel like we needed. So we do not feed that anymore. That's it for today's video. As always, if you have any questions, reach out, comment those questions below. Let me know what you think. Be harsh critics. I really want someone that can be honest with me and tell me how these videos are doing. Tell me what you think about them. Tell me how I can improve them. Don't just be like, you're trash, we don't like you. Like, give me some feedback. Tell me how I can be better. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. Please like, subscribe on the video. That helps us beat this YouTube algorithm. See you next time.